Hi, everybody. Welcome again to Enjoy English School. I'm Bruce.
I'm Antony.
Today, we have a little test for you. Every month, we have a cloze lesson. And you know the drill, as we say in American English. You know what you have to do because we do it once a month. Some sentences have a blank in them. And then what's missing? Well, we give you 4 choices to help you decide. All right, this is entitled, the lesson today is about, Have you eaten your breakfast today?
Yeah, 我们今天要介绍的是克漏字的单元哦，相信各位已经很熟悉，学校也好，或是我们的节目也好，都有介绍克漏字。那我们今天要介绍的主题呢是，你今天吃早餐了没有呢？ Have you eaten your breakfast today?Okay,
we'll come back in just a moment and get started with reading the first sentence. We're back. First paragraph begins with, Whether eating breakfast is important has always been a hot topic. Well, this might seem strange. Most people assume that everybody eats 3 meals a day, and if you don't, there's something wrong with you.Or you're unfortunate and cannot afford 3 meals a day. But some people choose not to eat breakfast.
Yeah, 所以这个地方我们先看第一句话，老师刚刚在解释的过程中用到了几个重要的字词，其中包括 assume。assume 的话就是在没有不晓得情况的话，你会先假设说应该是这样吧。好，大部分人看到第一句话 Whether eating breakfast is important 这件事情呢has always been a hot topic. 那大部分人都会觉得说应该每个人一天都会吃3餐吧。那可能有些人如果说听到说他没有吃早餐或他没有吃3餐，要么就是他可能比较运气不好，比较穷，买不起3餐，可是居然有人是选择明明有早餐可以吃，但是选择不吃，这真奇怪。那所以这里的话，到底第一句话说吃早餐重不重要这件事情呢，向来是一个非常热门的话题，大部分都觉得说当然要吃早餐啦。 We assume that eating breakfast is normal, is common. 好，我们都会这样去讲，但有人居然是不吃早餐的。
For many years, health experts and parents have insisted that it is vital to eat a blank breakfast that includes most food groups, fruits, vegetables, protein, grains, and dairy. Well, here, this second sentence has our first cloze item. What do we put with, it is vital to eat a blank breakfast? If you look below, your choices are 1, violent, sensitive, wicked, or balanced. Now, then we have at the end of the sentence different food, what we call food groups. Fruits, that's 1. Vegetables is another. Protein will be meat or fish or beans. Grains can also lay claim to beans, but wheat and corn and rice would be better examples of grains. And dairy refers to products from a cow.That is milk and cheese, butter, and so on. Now, it is vital that it's necessary. You must eat a what breakfast? Well, we have 5 different food groups here. Are they violent? I hope not. Sensitive, that's how people or animals feel about things. That has nothing to do with eating a meal. Wicked is as strange as violent. It doesn't fit here at all. Balanced. That means we eat maybe a piece of fruit, a couple of vegetables, some protein, 1 or 2 grains, and milk or butter or cream, something like that. If you have a little of each, you balance your diet, you balance your meal, and most experts will say that is the best way for us to eat.Yeah,
没错，所以这句话很长，然后在这边的话我们来先看一下，它里面提到说 For many years 多年以来 health experts 健康的这些权威专家们 and parents 父母 have insisted that 都坚持怎么样 It is vital to eat When you say something that is vital 就像老师刚刚所说的 vital 就是 necessary, important 很重要的是去 eat 吃什么样的早餐 That includes 包含了 most food groups， 好，大部分的这种食物的种类，后面就介绍到水果啦、蔬菜啦、蛋白质、谷物还有奶制品。老师刚刚特别都介绍了它里面的一些细节。那如果跟这么多种不同的这种食物种类要取得一个均衡平衡，每一样都吃一点的话，这题答案我们选的是第4个选项 D balanced。A balanced breakfast 就是指均衡的早餐，后面的5种水果5种的这个种类食物都要吃到，就叫做 a balanced breakfast.
The first meal of the day is when we break the fast after not eating all night. In case you were wondering, breakfast, we don't say breakfast, but breakfast comes from these 2 words. First, you have to understand that fast means you don't eat for whatever reason. You may choose not to eat or you don't have enough to eat. So every night, dinner is the last meal of the day, and then it's 8 hours or so. It's quite a bit of time before the first meal that you could eat the next day. If you fast, people say you don't eat during the night, so you fast during the night when you sleep.Then when you wake up, you break the fast by eating something. That is the source of the word breakfast. That's the first meal of the day, and so it is the time we break the evening or night fast.
没错，所以知道原来早餐 breakfast 这个字是来自于 break 跟后面这个字 fast， 这个 fast F-A-S-T 不是指好快没有，不是这个字它指的是禁食这件事情，不吃东西，禁是禁止的禁。那也就是说，如果你今天吃完晚餐之后，大概到睡觉时间经过了8个小时，都不吃东西，这是你的 fast。那一旦到了第2天早上，你决定要停止你这个禁食的行为，就是开始不吃东西的行为，那你就会去 break the fast， 就开始吃东西嘛，所以才出现了 breakfast 这个字的这个源流，它的演变是这样来的。好，所以告诉你 breakfast 这个字怎么来。
The way we eat breakfast, or not, can affect our levels of hunger and energy for the entire day. That's why many people say breakfast is the most important meal.Because it has an effect on you and your energy and how you feel for the whole day.
OK， 所以他这边这句话就讲说 The way we eat breakfast or not， 好，我们怎么吃早餐，怎么吃第一餐，或是不吃，好，它会影响到什么呢？ Can affect our levels of hunger and energy for the entire day. Hunger 就是我们的饥饿感， energy 的话是觉得我们的这个能量的高或低，它会影响到我们一整天饥饿的程度，能量的高低，好，可见影响真的很大。
Okay, let's take a short break and then find out what the scientists have to say about this. Okay, back with us? Great. Let's look at our second paragraph. Scientists have started to take a closer look at breakfast. Well, you might say, well, everybody knows what breakfast is. We assume everybody eats 3 meals a day, right? But scientists question things. They wonder about things. And so if you take a closer look at something, then you will research it or study it.
没错，所以在第2段第1句话就说了，好，科学家们呢已经开始怎么样 have started to take a closer look at breakfast， 开始仔细的去审视早餐，它到底对我们的影响有什么呢？
Every person blank foods and diets. Thus, it is difficult to make statements about which trends are more or less healthy. All right, here's our second cloze item. Every person blank foods and diets. So we are looking for a verb or a verb phrase here. And here are our 4 choices. Has an appetite for, responds differently to, has an influence on, or contributes greatly to. Let's see. Every person, blank foods and diets. Everybody knows about this, right? But that's not one of our choices. We do know that some people hardly have any breakfast. Others have a thick, heavy, full breakfast. So maybe B would be our best answer. Responds differently to. Not everybody has the same breakfast around the world, and some people don't eat breakfast. So everyone will respond differently to. We have a different way to eat. We have a different opinion, and the influence of our opinion will affect us differently.
没错，所以在这边的话，我们前面第一段有提到说 affect our levels of hunger and energy， 对不对？然后延续的第二段里，他说 every person 怎样 foods and diets， 这边的 diets 指的是饮食，好，你的饮食，那常常会跟 a balanced diet 来变成这个均衡饮食这样的说法。所以他说，所以说后面 thus it is difficult to make statements about which trends are more or less healthy。好，到底什么东西好，什么样子的饮食方式比较好，比较健康？因人而异的感觉，所以说前面这个2必须要选第二个选项 B responds differently to foods and diets。 那的意思就是说每个人对食物啊饮食的反应都不同，这个反应可能是你对这个事情的看法，或是这个食物对你的影响在你身上造成的反应跟效果，所以这题答案我们选的是 B 这个选项 responds differently to foods and diets。And
because we respond differently to foods and diets, this sentence continues, it is difficult to make statements about which trends are more or less healthy. These trends are fads, F-A-D, plural F-A-D-S. The way that people do things, a lot of people who decide to try something out at the same time, then we might call it a trend.And we always say trends come and go because people just want to find out about something. Maybe they will stay doing it, keep doing it. Maybe they won't. All right, let's continue. Nutritionists have blank about the high levels of sugar in breakfast cereals. Nutrition is a balanced diet or the value of food.People who study this, they're a kind of health expert. They study foods and the influence of foods and diet on people. They have blank about the high levels of sugar in breakfast cereals. Have they concerns, thoughts, risks, or views? Well, if it's high levels of sugar, most of us know that you don't want to give candy to children.As a breakfast food, the only thing to eat at breakfast. So the best choice for number 3 would be concerns. They have doubts or worries about if you keep giving children, especially American children, high sugar levels which are present in some breakfast foods, this is not going to be good for them. Sugar gives you a lot of energy, but only for a short time.So by the time they get to school, they no longer have energy.
没错，所以在这边的话提到了 nutritionists。 好 nutritionists 老师刚刚特别提到 nutrition 指的是营养，甚至你去超市买食物，你往后看到那个 nutrition facts 就是指它这个营养成分等等。那 nutritionists 就是指营养学家 have 什么 about the high levels of sugar in breakfast cereals。 好，在这边的话很多的营养学家对于早餐麦片里面含了高糖量很高的糖分有什么样的东西，所以这边我们答案选的是 A concerns. If you have concerns about something, 就是你对这件事情觉得好像不太妙，有点顾虑的感觉。所以说今天糖分这么高，对小朋友来说可能他吃的时候还很有能量，但是糖分的能量消耗的也很快，也对小朋友的专注力也不太好，所以事后可能到了这个学校里头他已经饿了，还没办法专注，所以这些营养学家对于这种高糖量的这种谷类当做早餐是有疑虑的。我们这答案选的是 A concerns.
Other scientists suggest that the popularity and success of intermittent fasting proves that we don't always need 3 meals a day. Again, these nutritionists, these scientists realize in many religions, there are periods of time in which people, for example, Muslims during 1 month during the year, Ramadan. You don't eat anything until the evening. so you don't have breakfast or lunch. Well, hundreds of millions of people do this, and they're not dying. So obviously, they and we don't always need 3 meals a day. Now, notice they don't do this every day. There's a month when they do this. Or maybe Buddhist monks, maybe they have 2 meals a day. It just shows that the idea that everybody must have breakfast, lunch, and dinner is not true.
没有错，老师刚刚举了非常非常多的例子哦，比方说像是在回教国家里头，回教徒的话，他们有 Ramadan， 好，它的就是禁食月，在禁食月里面呢，往往他们就是一定要到了早餐不吃，中餐不吃，一直到了傍晚夕阳西下的时候，他们还会吃一点简单的东西跟喝水，所以事实上他们也这么多人在实施这个禁食月，也没有大规模的死亡啊，所以说事实上也不见得是在不同地方不同的国家对于要不要吃早餐这件事的看法也是不一样的，所以你看到说 Other scientists suggest that the popularity and success of intermittent fasting，好，先到这个地方。他说，很多其他的这些科学家呢，也提出了这个看法，说 the popularity and success of intermittent fasting。intermittent fasting 就是间歇性的断食，不是每天都说不吃早餐、中餐，然后只吃晚餐，它可能是固定某一个时期，好，稍微做一些间歇性的断食，这种断食法很受欢迎，所以用到 popularity 这个字 and success， 而且这个做法很有效果，所以也很成功。证明了什么事呢？ Proves that we don't always need 3 meals a day， 也证明说一天一定要吃3餐吗？也不见得。
Many people throughout the world choose to blank breakfast and opt for an early lunch instead. We mentioned opt earlier this month.To opt for something is simply to choose or select, S-E-L-E-C-T. But the sentence, the main idea, many people throughout the world choose to blank breakfast, count, finish, skip, or prepare. Now, if you don't eat breakfast, but you choose an early lunch instead of a breakfast and a lunch,Well, that makes sense. So what would you do about breakfast? You wouldn't count or finish or prepare it. You would skip it. That means you choose not to do something.
没错，所以在这句话里面他说 Many people throughout the world， 好，世界各地的所有的人们呢，很多人都这样 choose to blank， 好 breakfast，and opt for an early lunch instead. 老师刚刚特别提到 opt for means to choose， 选择 an early lunch， 好，比较早点吃午餐，而不怎么样呢？我 choose to 什么 breakfast， 所以这里答案选的是 C skip breakfast， 干脆跳过早餐，直接早点吃中餐，用这种方式来解决他们这个的饮食的问题，就变成是不吃早餐，直接吃早午餐啦，那种感覺。
Okay, that finishes our second paragraph. Stay with us. We'll be right back with the final paragraph. Welcome back. Okay, we start with research does show that eating breakfast increases glucose levels, which gives us energy and makes us feel alert. Now, we talked about sugar earlier. Glucose, one of the things that is glucose is sugar. And if you eat something sweet, it will give you energy, but not for the whole day.And it also tends to not just make your body move, but your mind move as well. So you are alert, you are awake in your mind.
没错，所以在这句话里面他提到说 Research does show that， 这个 does 是 really， 好 Research really shows that 的意思 Eating breakfast increases glucose levels， 这个 glucose 指的是葡萄糖，好，它就能增加你的葡萄糖的这个含量，好，你身体的能量里面葡萄糖比较多，这件事情，好，逗号 which gives us energy and makes us feel alert. 什么叫做 makes us feel alert 呢？就是让我们头脑更加的灵活，而且呢可以给我们更多能量，所以事实上吃早餐对我们的身体是有帮助的。
Most professionals agree that it is better to eat early rather than late. Blank, we will have energy when we need it. These professionals are the nutritionists we talked about. They agree about at least one thing, and that is it's better to eat early rather than late. The earlier in the day that you eat is better. If you eat late at night, this is actually not good for your health. Blank, this is our last one, we will have energy when we need it. If you eat a late dinner, you're not going to need all that energy 1 hour before you go to sleep. That may keep you from sleep. So, what is the connection here? Most professionals agree that it is better to eat early rather than late. We will have energy when we need it. It sounds to me like soy. And, oh, look, so that. A is, I think, is our best choice. Now that does not fit here. Given that we will have energy, no, that contradicts the first part of the sentence, except that doesn't belong here either. Definitely choose A, so that we will have energy when we need it.
没错，在这个地方我们需要一个因果关系，对不对？他前面讲说 Most professionals agree that 大部分的专家都同意说 It is better to eat early rather than late. 宁愿早吃不要晚吃，这样一来我们才能够怎么样 So that we will have energy when we need it. 需要能量的时候我们才有机会用得出来，因为我们都准备好了。
Whatever you choose,The most important thing is to eat when you feel hungry and enjoy your meal. So don't worry about what time it is. Your stomach will tell you when you should be eating. But remember, if you eat too late at night, then you have lots of energy when you're supposed to be going to sleep. So that works against you.
没错，然后老师特别提醒各位是，如果说今天要睡觉的时候你太晚吃的话，你的身体就不断的去分解那些食物，然后到后来的话你睡的也不会睡得特别安稳。所以他最后这句话就说 Whatever you choose, 不管你选哪一种饮食方式 The most important thing is 最重要的事情就是 To eat when you feel hungry and enjoy your meal 就是当你饿了就要记得吃东西，而且呢好要享受你的食物，这样子的话其实对你身体很好的。不过话说回来，老师刚刚提到也很重要，在睡前的时候不要吃太多东西，不然会增加你身体的负担哦。
Okay, that finishes our text reading. We do have some review vocabulary for you in a moment. Okay, we're back. We just have 4 items here. The first is trend.The noun trend, as I said, it's kind of a fad, F-A-D. It seems to be what most people are doing at any particular time.
没错，那如果说今天用到 trend 这个名词的话，指的是当下的这种趋势、流行等等。当然你也可以使用 fad, F-A-D, 但 F-A-D 给人感觉是一下短短的一下就过了，很快就不流行的感觉。
Our second item, popularity, refers to appealing to a large number of people, like Lady Gaga.
Yeah, 没错。Popularity 这个字的意思是来自于 popular， 大家都知道 popular 是受欢迎，对不对？受欢迎的。那如果是变成 ity 的字尾，就变名词，就是人气，好，人气很旺等等。就像老师刚刚讲的，如果提到人气很旺的歌手，就想到 Lady Gaga 这种感觉一样。
Okay, number 3, opt for. We had this earlier in the month. Here it is again. It means to choose or select.
第3个字就是 opt for something. Opt for 就是 to choose, 选择什么东西的意思。
And finally, alert. This means you are awake. Sometimes we say wide awake. Your mind is functioning. Your mind is working very well.
没错，第4个 alert 的话就是那种耳聪目明啦，头脑非常清醒的这种状态。你也可以使用 wide awake 这种方式去表达说，哦，头脑非常灵活，想什么思绪都很快。
Okay, that's it for today's lesson. We've enjoyed being with you again this month and look forward to being with you again next month. Until then,
bye-bye.